The best practice guide is crucial for not just our members, but for the wider community that are encouraging circularity of assets. One of the key blockers to circularity is, what do you do with data? How do you securely remove it from assets? What practice should I follow? How do I assess risk? All these things are covered in the sanitization guide, because we want to make it simple and straightforward for people to do the right thing with the best available information. And we know that there's governments, there are larger enterprises and businesses that want to change their behaviors to be more circular and to address reuse and refurbishment policies. But what they need is help and support in that area to do the right thing. And that's exactly what we're trying to do with the guide.
Data sanitization is not only important from a sustainability perspective, but I think now that we're seeing this, the reduction in supply of components and rare earth elements and such that are being made to actually manufacture hard disk drives, solid state disk drives, NAND, DRAM, et cetera. It makes it even more economically viable for enterprises to consider secure, efficient, effective data sanitization instead of physical destruction. And what the Circular Drive Initiative is doing with the best practices document is providing a framework that can allow enterprises, not only from an end user perspective, but also IT asset disposition providers, managed service providers, value-added resellers, even vendors and hyperscalers themselves, to realize that with the technology available nowadays, embedded into the drive by the manufacturers and then propagated through the vendor platforms, there's the ability to, again, perform secure, effective, efficient data sanitization that allows a drive to be reused, repurposed, and will then help us from, again, not only a sustainability perspective, but also ensure that there is a supply of storage for the propagation of AI, again, throughout the enterprise.
When we talk about importance of data sanitization for sustainability, at Dropbox, it's really about two key things: protecting user privacy and supporting the responsible reuse and recycling of hardware. By securely erasing data before drives are decommissioned, we can extend their useful life, uh, reduce waste, and make better use of the resources we already have. I would say that the CDI Data Sanitization Best Practices Guide helps organizations follow consistent, proven methods to achieve these goals safely and effectively. Now, when it comes to Secure Erase allows us to safely redeploy drives for continued use rather than discarding them. This not only reduces the need for new hardware production, but also supports a more circular, efficient, and sustainable approach to manage data storage.
Hello, my name is Stephen Buckler. I'm with the Circular Drive Initiative. E-waste is a growing problem, projected to increase to 82,000 tons annually by 2030. Less than a quarter of e-waste is recycled or reused. Reuse offers a better bang for the buck compared to recycling. Not only does it offer a 70% reduction in carbon emissions, but offers a considerable financial benefit for over recycling. Reuse drives currently are seeing anywhere from $10 to $17 return per terabyte, as opposed to roughly $1 per terabyte for recycling. Reuse delivers a positive impact on the balance sheet while doing good for the environment. Our mission here at the Circular Drive Initiative is to promote the reuse of hard drives in supporting a circular economy. We understand that asset recovery is not a core function and often is a shared responsibility that can be crowded out by the day-to-day activities. We also understand that there is zero compromise in ensuring that data does not escape. We have assembled experts throughout the life cycle of a hard drive to demystify and simplify the recovery process, making reuse a much more obtainable option while protecting your data. We provide end users the necessary steps, the tools, and actions to realize the environmental and financial benefits of reuse while ensuring your data is safe. Give consideration to reuse over destruction.
It's important because data sanitization it's a foundation to make circular IT happen. If we can't ensure that data is destroyed, there will be no chance to have hardware have a second life. And therefore it sort of stops all the momentum of trying to reuse items. So, in short, secure data destruction bridges the gap between data security and environmental responsibility. I think what the guide shows is how fragmented data sanitization can still be, right? I mean, there's a lot of different opinions, and different folks approach it from different perspectives. And I think by having sort of a vendor neutral framework like the CDI guide, no one has an advantage one way or another. It's just the facts, right? It's just the principles of the best way to handle data sanitization that isn't biased to favor one company or one methodology, but it's the best to enable circularity. And this is why it's great. This is why it's great to have all the different principles involved, because it's definitely a vendor neutral guide. Again, every drive that's reused, it avoids having to create a new drive. Most people don't think about sustainability in terms of hardware, but all hardware, as we know, carries a scope 3 cost. And every drive or every circuit board, every computer that's manufactured carries some carbon, some scope 3 debt. So the more and more that we can reuse items securely in a way that everyone's confident the data is erased, it just means one less drive having to be manufactured, meaning less neodymium having to be mined, less aluminum needing to be refined, etc. So reuse is a best form to creating a sustainable IT infrastructure. Always reuse before recycle, right? And from a strictly selfish perspective, the amount of money that comes into the reverse supply chain from resale is a lot more than recycle. And therefore you can do a lot with the value you create. You can fund programs, you can fund logistics. So not only is it a straight win from a perspective of scope 3 emissions, it really helps make the program viable. Again, consistency, transparency, and trust, right? It's clear, it's neutral, and it's, the whole goal of being efficacious, right? It works. And so adopting the CDI guide simplifies vendor relationships because it sets a common language for everyone to have the same expectations in terms of reporting and service. This is why a group like CDI is great, right? It's a great neutral organization, neutral playing field where we can all get together and share best practices. And so this is the only way to make it work. When agreements are happening backdoor or between two vendors, human nature's, the people involved are always going to try to skew it, like I said earlier, to where they have an advantage. Where using collaboration, you get the best of everyone. You get the best from the ITADs, what works best for all of us, the best of the manufacturers, and the best of the users of the hardware. So it's a great way to truly come up with a solution that works well for everyone. Again, my name is Sean Magann, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.